Hey, I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell of Helping Babies Sleep. Click subscribe to learn more about your baby's sleep from month to month. Today I want to talk to you about 5 things you need to know about your 4-month-old's sleep. So at 4 months, there is indeed a massive sleep regression, and maybe you've seen this already. We often refer to this period as the end of the 4th trimester because from 0 to 4 months, often they're pretty easy. They can be. They eat and sleep, and it doesn't seem like they do all that much more than that. But at 4 months, there's definitely a big change as your child starts to wake up to the world around her. And some of the signs of this 4-month sleep regression may be that those 6 to 8 hour stretches of sleep that you had and were feeling so good about are now much more interrupted. It's very common to see a kiddo who wakes up many more times in the night than they did in the 2-month or the 3-month stage. The 4-month sleep regression can happen anywhere between 3.5 and 4.5 months, just so you know. So if you're in the 3-month period and you're seeing this, it's legit. So the first sign was they're waking up more at night. The second sign is that those naps, previously you may have had some really long, lovely naps, and now they might be only 45 minutes in length. Again, surfacing and working on object permanence. The fact that you exist even though they can't see you, and so they call for you more often to see if you'll come visit, which is what happens in the middle of the night. So how much sleep does your 4-month-old actually need? Okay, so like babies, let's say 0 to 1, need 11 to 12 hours of nighttime sleep. And yes, it may be interrupted at this stage with some feeding. Your 4-month-old needs 3 to 4 hours of total daytime naps. And often that's in 4 naps. And they may vary in length, and that's okay. But I want you to think about your daily total. And actually what I really want you to think about is your 24-hour total, which should be around 15 and a half hours of sleep overall, right? If you think 4 hours a nap, 11 hours at night, that's pretty average around this age. The most common question I get at this age is, how do I get my 4-month-old to sleep more? So with sleep regressions, anytime you hear sleep regression, I want you to think progress, because your child is growing neurologically or physically. So maybe the neurological part is I'm learning object permanence. The physical part might be I'm starting to roll. That might be a bit early for you. A lot of kids start rolling around 5 months. But there's lots of physical sleep regressions that will happen, right? When they start to hover on all fours, when they start to pull up to standing, when they start walking. If you think of those sleep regressions as it's something that's distracting their brain from relaxing them down into sleep. It's kind of like you, if you woke up at 5 a.m. and you were heading to Hawaii that day, it might be hard for you to get back to sleep because you're so excited about that trip. It's the very same thing. This is why sleep regressions can happen, okay? So how are you going to get your 4-month-old to sleep? Well, remember that the drive to sleep is biological. So we all have a buildup of a protein in our blood that signals our brain when it's time to sleep. But the way we sleep is actually a learned habit. Think about yourself. If I told you that you couldn't sleep in your favorite position tonight, and I'm going to take away your blankets and your pillows, that would be uncomfortable for you. You're a complex human. You've evolved. You would figure out a way to fall asleep, but doing so would be uncomfortable for you, right? Because you have a learned way of falling asleep. And the same is true for our kiddos. So for me, I used to nurse my son to sleep every couple of hours when he was 3-4 months old. So when he woke up in the night, which all humans do, he would cry out for me to come and put a boob back into his mouth so he could relax back down into sleep. Because to him, that's what he thought sleep looked like. He had no idea he could do it on his own because I had never tried that or attempted that, okay? So sleep is a learned habit. Other sleep crutches, we call these things, sleep crutches are external things that your kiddo relies on to help them relax into sleep, are things like feeding from a bottle, from a breast, even if they're not dead asleep, but they're made relaxed from these things, and then you can put them down and they roll over and go to sleep. When they surface in the night, they need that same feeling of being completely relaxed to roll over and go to sleep. Motion, including being rocked, being in a carrier, being in a stroller, and then touch. The simple, like often co-sleeping. There's no sucking going on, there's no motion going on, but just being so close to a human can be very, very relaxing. So if you want to have an independent sleeper, a kiddo that you can put down completely awake and they can figure out how to suck their thumb or rub a piece of material on their face and relax themselves down into sleep, you have to start disassociating the things that they already know and go through that uncomfortable period where they learn a new way of falling asleep. Here's the thing though, sleep teaching, because I hate sleep training, we train dogs, but we teach our kids. And really it should be called sleep reteaching, because inadvertently we taught them what sleep looked like between 4 and 8 weeks. For me, it was teaching my son that the boob was a soother, but we're reteaching them a new habit, right? It's not just about what happens at bedtime, it's all about setting them up for success with the timing of your sleep, age-appropriate feeding, when your feedings are happening. Your ability to be 100% consistent makes it easier for your kiddo to learn, right? If you're looking for more help on doing that, I give you step-by-step guidance in my Helping Babies Sleep online sleep school. So it's for babies 0 to 4 years. There's different classes according to your kiddo's age, and you can take the classes, take the lessons, implement them, and then come into my private Facebook group where we talk about how you're doing. Is there anything unique to your situation that you need a little bit of guidance on? I take questions 3 times a week in there. But if you think you don't need that yet, no problem. I want you to take my sleep quiz in the link below. And basically it's going to ask you 6 simple questions about your kiddo's sleep, and I'm going to give you a personalized response with a couple things you can work on tonight to get sleep going. So you can check that out below.